So the Masters of the Universe movie has a Skeletor problem. According to Gizmodo, it's actually a Jared Leto problem, because if you do a search for news on Masters of the Universe, almost all of it is about Jared Leto and why he's problematic. Uh-oh.
Well, I've been noticing people pointed out, like the premiere, and they had some stuff with the celebrities, people that were in the movie, and they were interacting with different actors, and they had like Trapped on there, and they had, Idris Elba, and all the main ones, but they didn't have Jared Leto. He's playing Skeletor, and he wasn't on there, and they're like, why isn't Jared Leto there? And I don't know if it's a case of where, they're hiding him because they're, for whatever reason, because he has bad reputation, or who knows why they're hiding him, because they don't want his face associated with the movie, because they want Skeletor face associated with the movie. Who knows? But they're definitely hiding him for some reason.
I think they're hiding him because he has a lot of stink attached to him, not just all idiosyncratic or idiotic behavior in real life and all the controversies around that, but also that he has like box office poison.
He has a lot of skeletons in his closet.
He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. Yeah. So I think they're just like, let's not remind people that Jared Leto's in it. He's wearing a skeleton mask. So let's just not,
let's keep it that way.
Let's just keep it that way. So let's talk about this and talk about some other stuff going on with this movie. They dropped the theme song today. It's actually done by The Darkness.
I thought that was a solid choice though, because they have the 80s sound for sure.
Yeah. And I can't play it on here because I don't want to get hit, but it sounds like an 80s movie. So they're going all in on the 80s thing, which I can appreciate. And look, we said before, I think the movie's actually going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I don't know how it's going to do at the box office. It might be too niche, but I think it's going to capture the 80s era perfectly, because Masters of the Universe, when it came out, it was during the whole like Heavy Metal Magazine, Conan, Dungeons and Dragons, it was
literally called He-Man. Unfortunately, what I'm worried about is the fact that, that's considered toxic and bad now. And that's only thing I'm concerned about. And they had this clip, people were worried about it. Now, my comment to this was, it makes sense that he wouldn't know how to fly it.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at it. I'm not going to play the audio on this, but this is a clip. I would not be using this clip to promote this movie, but they have a clip of not Adam, but He-Man getting on a sky sled and not knowing how to fly it and going backwards, which is not, something that like Adam. Okay. Yeah. But he's still just like Adam with a loincloth on. He's not. Yeah. So he's like, okay, here we go. Boom. He goes backwards. I'm like, oh no, you don't want to, you don't want a He-Man to just be a complete doofus.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I mean, in this one, and then he falls. This makes sense, though. This makes sense because, like, you in the cartoon, he grew up flying these things around. But down here, he's been at a desk job for years. So if he got on one and immediately knew how to fly it, I'd be like, wait a minute, Well, so I get it. I'm sure he's going to bounce back pretty quick and then kick everybody's ass. But it's just, and they're playing it for laughs. But I kind of understand why they would do that, because it would make less sense for him to know how to fly it.
Yeah, but I'm also like, I guess I always kind of assumed that when he had the power of Grayskull, he just became significantly more intelligent too, because he seemed to know shit that he didn't know when he was Adam.
That's a valid point too. That's a valid point. Like, he should innately know how to do it, because
he should innately know how. He is.
Sorceress would be projecting it into his head, telling him how.
He is. It's like, Adam, you need to put it in the first gear, Adam. On the clutch and then first gear. Sorceress is going to teach Adam how to drive stick. Because he has to be He-Man, right? He's got to drive stick. But yeah, I don't know
Sorceress knows how to drive a stick. That's why we have Tila.
Well, I don't know. Was she a bird or a human when it happened? I don't know. Did Tila hatch out of an egg? I never got an answer. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
If you would like even more of us, and some people in the He-Man fandom would not like any more of us. We were supposed to go away 5 years ago. We were supposed to just disappear, but we didn't. So you can go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more clownfishtv.com. Get some podcasts and some episodes you will not find on YouTube, and thank you to the Reefers for the support. So yeah, let's talk real quick about, all the promotional push. It was like we heard nothing about this movie, and then all of a sudden that's like all you're hearing is just like everything about this movie all
But
at
you
once.
know what though? It's funny. Like their promotion has been amazing. Like it has been fantastic. They held like the Castle Grayskull in front of the premiere. They have all kinds of cutouts all over the place. They had the big drone show.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like bringing it. And then the stuff that they're going to have at the theaters is awesome. But good luck getting it because they already released it at a lot of theaters and people are already in there buying it already.
They have it out already. That's weird.
Yeah, some theaters. Now I know the ones by us, the one we go to, isn't putting it out until the 4th, so we have a shot at getting some stuff. But people are getting mad because they're trying to get it online or trying to get it at the theaters, and they're already selling out of it before the movie even starts.
Oh my gosh. They even did the what's going on with Dolph Lundgren and Galitzin. They were I thought that was kind of funny because I'm like, yeah, they got to get that in there. I don't know. I think it's gonna be, and because people are they're gonna look at the thumbnails and be like, Clownfish TV hates everything. I'm like, get fucked. Actually, we've been saying since the beginning we think it's going to be a good movie. Just it's how it's going to do at the box
Go play
office.
with your toys in the corner.
Go make them kiss or whatever.
Yeah.
No, actually, weirdly enough, though, Geeky's been opening. I've got a massive backlog of Masters of the Universe figures.
I bought most of them.
She did buy most of them, but I pretty much like gave up on He-Man because of the Revelation bullshit that we went through. Which I'm sorry was not self-inflicted. That was I literally made a comment and we got in passing
on
wasn't even
Twitter
a
at the
video
time.
and got singled out and then got dragged through the mud. My wife got stalked by a freaking weirdo.
Forever afterwards. It was nuts. But I got to open a bunch of toys. So I was very happy. I was happily opening toys because he's like, yeah, go ahead and open them so you have more room on the shelves. And I was like, don't have to tell me twice. I did leave some behind that he wanted to open because there are some ones that, I was like, I want to open those. So I left them for him. But
I had to open Fisto. Fisto. Yeah.
And I just opened an Evelyn, Attila, and one other one before I came in here. Faker before I came in here. But I've been having a field day opening He-Man figures for days. So
yeah, and it sucks because I'm looking at these. I'm like, yeah, I really did like He-Man. I did. And what pissed me off though was all the antics around the Netflix show and some of the people in the fandom that are just completely mental and unhinged. And I'm 100% convinced that most of our stalker problems that we had, I mean, thankfully, knock on wood, we don't have as many as we used to. But the problems that we had came from people within that fandom.
That or She-Ra, yeah.
The She-Ra fandom and then also the Netflix He-Man fandom. Because every time we talk about this stuff, then it wasn't even Star Wars so much. Like we talk about He-Man and then all this weird shit would start happening. So I'm 100% convinced it was about that. Like we talked about comics, no issues. Star Wars, very little issue. We talk about a number of other things. We do not have that much of an issue, but we talk about anything He-Man or She-Ra
or cartoons.
But there's just some weird shit going on. That has ruined it for me. I'm going to be honest.
I
it's not
still
the
like it.
property.
I like it's the toys.
It's not the property. It's the people around the property propping up the property.
I had a field day opening all those toys, but I have to hand them to you to put the weapons in their hands because, like the Masterverse, their hands do not want to get weapons. Don't want to go in those very very easily. I prefer
they're too tight. Release. You got to work it in.
But there's all this other stuff been coming out. Like there's supposed to be a new cartoon now, but it's going to be on YouTube, which we keep telling you. They keep trying to put stuff on YouTube to make it stick, and then because it's free, and all this Hollywood's doing this now. Well, here comes the Masters of the Universe cartoon.
Yeah, that's interesting though that they're going to be doing this on YouTube. Probably gonna be like little shorts or something like that. Like buy this new toy. They need to get kids back on board with He-Man. That is the biggest problem, and I think that's with any franchise like Transformers, because the Bayformers movies, as much as I hated them, they did well financially, and it did get kind of a new generation of kids into it. I don't think Mattel has had as much success with He-Man. They tried it with the Netflix CGI show, which was good, but it got overshadowed by the Revelation bullshit.
Well, I think, but the problem they're going to have is I just don't think kids are into He-Man. It's the adults.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I just don't think they are. Just like they have a Star Wars problem. Kids don't want it. And I don't think it's anything against this property. It's just that this generation is something completely different. It's not their thing. And that doesn't mean all kids don't want to go, because I heard kids asking about going to see it when we were at the toy show a couple of weeks ago. So I know kids do want to see it. They weren't talking about Star Wars. They were talking about He-Man. But I just don't think it's to a level. And let's be honest, a lot of this, like the Revolution, and now this movie seems to be more geared to the adults than the kids.
Yeah, and just given the soundtrack and everything too, I'm getting Flash Gordon vibes, which is not a bad thing, but it seems like they're really, really leaning into that whole era of kind of like early '80s heavy metal, which I'm cool with, but I don't know if kids are going to be into it as much, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does well. It's not tracking great, but I think it's because the Masters brand is just not what it was. But in all this promotion, it took us like 10 minutes to get to the point.
We talked about it at the beginning, how weird it was about Jared Leto.
But in all this promotional soup, all this stuff that they're doing, Jared Leto is missing. So Gizmodo's like, Masters of the Universe knows it's got a Skeletor problem. You'll hear Jared Leto as Skeletor Masters of the Universe, but you sure won't see or hear anyone act like he's in it.
Yeah, people are commenting on it. I've noticed it on different blogs and boards and stuff. People are like, well, why aren't they showing Jared Leto? He's being left out.
Yeah, so they said the disdain some have for Leto, whether it's for his acting or his sexual assault allegations, is apparently enough for Amazon to act like he doesn't exist. Yeah, Skeletor's all over Masters marketing, but you otherwise wouldn't know who voiced him until the name pops up in the credits. Per Puck News, this is something Leto's not thrilled about. He was paid $5 million for the role and has been put on a gag order since production wrapped. He didn't show up at the film's premiere this week. He's also not doing any promo like Nicholas Galitzin and Camila Mendez, even on his own channels. Making this even weirder is that some who've seen the movie early have conceded he actually makes for a pretty good Skeletor. And he was one of the big concerns we had. I'm like, Jared Leto, Skeletor?
Well, this reminds me of, what's his nuts? Ezra Miller. This reminds me of Ezra Miller when they were like gagging Ezra Miller to promote things because he was out there and did not have a good reputation. Now, to be fair, Ezra Miller has done far more crazy things, but Jared Leto tanks everything he's in for the most part.
Well, I think that might be it too, because as soon as they announced that, Jared Leto is in the movie, and that was the big concern a lot of people had. They're like, oh, cool, they're doing a He-Man movie. Oh, okay, good luck with that. And it's like, oh, Jared Leto is Skeletor? Oh, hell no.
I mean, here's the thing. He did pretty well in the Haunted Mansion. When he's playing like a character, he can pull off a character. He can do characters. It's just that, you want to hear him, not see him. Like, you want to see the character, but not him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like Tron Ares, no. But like Skeletor, maybe.
They said it's strange for production to not have a controversial actor in its cast, but then they actively downplayed his involvement. Yeah, he's one of the main characters, right? By no means is it unwarranted, as previously stated. Audiences do not care for Leto and have made that known financially as well as vocally, but it makes you wonder why Travis Knight and Amazon hired him to begin with. I think they hired him before they knew how radioactive he actually was, and then all these other allegations came out, and then honestly it might be Tron Ares. It might just be that Tron Ares was a huge flop and they're like, yeah, we don't want to associate with that. I mean, can you imagine, we're gonna pay you millions of dollars for a role, but you have to shut the hell up and not talk about it?
The allegations, though, I mean, people had talked behind the scenes, but the actual public allegations only came out probably when this was in production or right after he was already hired. So you could be hiding him because of that too.
Yeah. They said, what has he brought that's made him worth Masters marketing, working with one hand tied behind his back? Again, he probably was signed. Let's see what they say here in the Express Tribune. He was actually signed before all the shit hit the fan. Mm-hmm. But it said, same time, several recent films featuring the actor struggled commercially. Yep. Tron Ares became one of 2025's major box office disappointments. Morbius, House of Gucci, and Haunted Mansion also failed.
Well, I don't think he was why Haunted Mansion failed, but yeah.
They said because of that track record, some analysts believe Amazon may be trying to focus marketing attention on the broader cast, the nostalgia surrounding the franchise, and positive early reactions rather than on Jared Leto. Plus, he tends to say stupid stuff in interviews. Well, he does tend to run at the mouth.
You could argue that they're just sticking with the heroes, but that's not true either, because in the marketing they've had, they have Evil Lynn, they have Alison Brie there at the premiere, and they had one guy that did Trapjaw. I don't know who the actor is. They had him in the one thing, they were doing this thing with phones, and they had hold it over their face and turn around and look at the character, and they had Trapjaw in there, and he's a villain. So, it's not that they're not having villains in the promotion. So I don't know. No,
it's him specifically. They don't want Jared Leto poisoning the well, I think. And they don't want the public knowing that Jared Leto's in the movie. And if he's in makeup, I mean, I was kind of worried. Now, apparently this is not the case, but I was worried that he was going to be Keldor for like 3/4 of the movie. And then, oh, my face got eaten off by Battle Cat at the end. Now I'm Skeletor or something, you know? But apparently he's Skeletor for most of, if not all, the movie. So, good. I mean, I guess that's good. I don't know. I don't know.
So far, what I've seen of it, I don't think it's that bad. It doesn't have the same voice, but that's okay. I think it works because this movie seems to be darker. But I'm just like, what I've seen, it works. So I hope it's good. I do. If it is good, maybe it's some redemption for him in some way. But I just think they're afraid of everybody knowing that he's in it because
that's exactly
reasons, you know.
That is exactly what I think is going on. So anyway, are we gonna wrap it up?
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.